She's back from the warm weather in Claremont, Florida. It's Cheryl Peterson, everybody. Cheryl. Coach Peterson, you are coming back from pulling the tarp on the field. You know what that means?
Yes. It means home opener is Friday.
It means we're playing outdoors this weekend.
We're playing outdoors this weekend.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, besides these southern trips, like, how do you prep to play this early in the spring? The weather's actually been pretty mild this year, but other years you're not so lucky going into that first weekend.
That is definitely true. We've been fortunate this year. We've been able to get out on that turf early on. So our football field is turf, so it makes it definitely more workable. This year's definitely been interesting with tipping under renovation, as we've been working in multiple facilities and multiple locations. But it's all with the kids working hard. We do a lot of small group stuff right this time of year, a lot of hitting indoors, and that's kind of helped us out. We kind of expect offensively to be able to come out strong, and defensively we have had those kind of bumps that comes with working from indoor facilities, but they clear up as we get going through the season.
Yeah, we're going to talk about sort of what we've seen so far. You're one of the coaches that I mentioned that you've already gone through a large portion of your schedule because you were able to go down south and compete. But take us through a typical indoor session. As you said, it takes a very difficult practice defense. Can't get too many cross-diamond throws. But what are some of the things you can work on, you can improve, that there may not be as much drop-off?
So this year especially, we've kind of actually taken advantage of having some racquetball court areas. We've done a lot of wall ball work, which really works their reaction time, being able to read long hops versus short hops. And that really has helped us just from a glove, learning how to play defense from our feet, keeping our feet moving. And while it doesn't help us throwing wise, we've also been able to take advantage of the rec, so it's kind of splitting practices up. So practices, one day we would use the rec for an hour, we'd be in a different building for batting for an hour, and a third building for conditioning for an hour. And so we kind of divide it up, and we work around the kids' class schedules, so smaller groups, keeps it more compact, but keeps the kids moving pretty well.
Well, you did have the opportunity to go down south. You started way back in the middle of February with a weekend down in Myrtle Beach, and then you spent another week in Florida. That is so much the culture of collegiate softball, these spring training trips. They become such a huge advantage to a coach, I would think, in terms of building chemistry, building camaraderie, especially when you're on a bus for 32 hours. You got to learn how to live with other people.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine that brings some challenges as well. But talk about the importance of these trips beyond just getting on the field and playing.
Oh, they are huge from building a team aspect with it. With our practices being more small group split sessions, it means that South Carolina, when we headed down there for those first opening 6 games, that was really the first time we had put our roster all together completely for 3 straight days. Really 4 days with the travel trip down there. But it's more than just, for these ladies, it's more than just getting on the field. It's getting that team chemistry, it's getting that team bonding. We start doing, especially that opening weekend in South Carolina, we've got these kind of 3-bedroom condo spaces that have kitchens, which means the ladies are cooking dinner for themselves out there. So as a team, so we do lasagna, chicken tenders, and salad and garlic bread one night for dinner. And all 3 kitchens are kind of running at that point in time, and they take care of it, they run with it, but it really allows them to kind of start working together in different manners outside than just on a softball field.
Okay, we're going to get away from softball for a second, because I want to know, so if you could name names, who's the best cook? Who came up with the best dish?
I don't really know.
Do you not want to maybe
I don't want to, we're not going to pick favorites, because that'll get me in trouble real fast.
So I'll tell you what, I make a killer lasagna. I made some last night, it was fantastic. So if there's somebody on your team who also makes good lasagna, I would like to see how it stacks up. Your blind taste test.
Yeah,
what are we talking about again?
Food.
Softball. That's right. So, but that's great. You're talking about camaraderie. You're talking about putting your team together for the first time at that time of the year. And for a lot of teams, I'm sure that that's a challenge because a lot of teams are coming from up north, and then you're playing some teams that are down south that have been practicing outdoors for a month.
Yeah, it's always an interesting difference between who you're playing. We luck out with that South Carolina trip, and part of the reason we do that one specifically every year, or at least we have for the last 3 years, is that basically every one of those teams is coming out of the snow. So we're all in the same situation. Every single one of our schools that we played, it was their opening weekend just like it was ours, which makes it nice because coaches are kind of all in the same volume at that point in time. We're all getting our feet on the dirt for the first time. We're all working the weather. We're all seeing what's going on. But it helps out. When we head down to Florida, it's not that case. We played a team that's already got 20 games under their belt and we're going into game number 9. It's like, all right, we get working through it.
Not to mention the practice time, the conditioning time, all the work they've been able to get in outdoors. But your team, 15 games into the season, you're swinging the bats. You're swinging the bats very well at this point in the season. A lot of different people have stepped up. What have you noticed differently about this offense this year?
Offensively this year, the difference has come in our practices. They are challenging each other and pushing each other in a manner that we've been trying to build for the last couple of years. We finally found it. They are making it competitive. They are taking extra reps when they need them. If they're having a struggle day, it's one of those they'll take kind of finish up practice of what they need to do, take a couple hours, and then come back and take one more bucket to find that swing again. The ladies are really pushing each other offensively, and during our off season or preseason, getting going before we get games, that is huge, and you're seeing it on the field. You're seeing it in the stats. You're seeing the results that really has changed as we get going. We're hoping to see it on defensively as we get outside.
One of the things I'm noticing that hasn't necessarily been there for a lot of years is you look up and down the line, there's power, extra base hits coming from not just 1 or 2 players, but 4 or 5 players that have some pop in their bats. Jessica Cartier is one of them.
Definitely.
Sophomore catcher, almost tied the schools.
She's tied it.
I'm saying almost tied it as a freshman.
Oh, yeah. Almost tied it as a freshman.
But she's already got 11 home runs in her career. She's already the career record, and she's only 32 games in. Something like that. So, you look at her and what she's been able to do at the plate in 2 years. Does that bring a little bit of swagger to your offense when people see her launching some balls and then everybody else is trying to get it on?
It definitely does. Offense is contagious. In the game of softball, offense is completely contagious. So you get somebody like Jess who's swinging it pretty heavy, and she started off last year really strong, and it helped with Becca Kelly started picking up right behind her, and then we swing right into this fall. Taylor Nonberg had some huge home runs her freshman year, and she came back with another one this spring season. Mackenzie Wolf launched one. So we've got a bunch of people who've been able to just come up with consistent at-bats, power, swinging for that double, and really pushing through it.
I was going to say, we haven't even really seen the best of Taylor Nonberg yet, who over the course of her career has sort of been, maybe it's forward to me to say, maybe your best all-around hitter as far as gap power, some speed. And we haven't seen the best of her because she didn't make that first trip to Myrtle Beach. Mackenzie Wolf, you mentioned, she was the Central Division Player of the Week as a true freshman, showing some serious impressive display in South Carolina.
She definitely had an impressive display in South Carolina. Took her first career home run that first weekend out, hit something like 389, I think off the top of my head, and everybody kind of stopped and went, all right, is this a one kind of weekend thing? And then she comes back in Florida and she's staying right with it. She's still at like 360, 370, hitting doubles, hitting singles. She's been able to be kind of that freshman that we needed to kind of step into that role right out of the bat, and it's been great.
So the pitching has not been where you would want it yet. I think that's a nice way to say it.
That's a good way to say it.
But you do have veterans there. You've got Macy Rubin has shown she's picked up right where she's left off. But freshman Chelsea Rock is also throwing the ball really well.
Chelsea has done phenomenal. The kid has come in. She's kind of living right now in a closing role for us, and she is throwing it really well. The games that we put Macy as the starter and Chelsea closing behind her have all been tight games. We're a team this year that's going to be won basically with bats. It's going to be heavy hitting games. Okay, if we struggle offensively, it's not going to be a pretty game, and that's kind of what we saw in Florida. We've had some struggles on the mound. We've had a couple of injuries that have kind of not helped us out, but we're getting back into it. Becca Kelly threw very well last year when she played Lock Haven and Bloomsburg, and we know she's got it in her. So she's still getting time out there. And then we got Kira Smith, who just came back to roster, who took an injury 2 years ago at this point in time. We weren't sure that kid was ever going to be able to do again. And she's back on roster, and she's cleared, and she's ready to throw for this weekend. So,
well, you do have 2 sets of doubleheaders coming up this weekend. You've got the Gannon Golden Knights on Friday. You've got Seton Hill scheduled for Sunday. Friday's supposed to be pretty nice. Sunday is going to be really cold.
Yeah.
But our fans are going to have an opportunity to come out and watch these young ladies that, like you said, have shown so much promise so far in the early season. They're going to have the opportunity to watch them compete in person. Or, and I'll leave you with this, your team has sort of, I don't want to say pioneered, but Tyler Kish has provided live web streams of every game from wherever you've been, South Carolina, Florida, Erie, where have you. And he's back doing the games. And I've got to think that has been a great way for you to connect with former players and families in a way that hadn't been done before.
It is phenomenal. Tyler Kish has kind of played the voice of clearing softball for us for the last now 2 years. And it allows us to do a lot of things differently than we've ever done before. All of our games are live streamed for it, as you said, wherever we are. But it's great to be able to turn around and we'll finish up a good, strong game and have text messages from former players, from alumni, basically congratulating us. The amount of tweets and replays and hits that we get over South Carolina and Florida was incredible as far as the amount of people who are taking the time and watching it and showing it's on. And it's a lot of fun. It really allows us to show that Clarion softball pride.
Yeah, I don't want to blow Tyler up too much. Wow. His head's going to get so big. The headset may not fit around when we're done. Well, hey, Coach, thank you so much. And I'll be out there on Friday and Sunday watching your team. We'll really hope that other people join us as well. Cheryl Peterson, everybody.